Good morning. Thank you very much for having me here on this very, very important topic. Yes, my name is Cheryl Clary. I'm the Executive Director of the Irvine Ranch Water District, which I will refer to as IRWD moving forward. In essence, I am the CFO. A little bit about IRWD. We are an independent special district serving Central Orange County. We serve high-quality drinking water, reliable wastewater collection and treatment. We have groundbreaking recycled water programs and environmentally sound urban runoff programs. And we deliver those services to approximately 420,000 residents. Everything we charge, both connection fees and rates, are based on cost of service. They have to be based on cost of service. In my role, I oversee the setting of rates and charges, including connection fees. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between impact fees and connection fees. Water and wastewater agencies charge connection fees. These are very different from impact fees. Impact fees are generally paid to mitigate the impact of development, things such as transportation cost. A connection fee is different, as I said. Connection fee is charged to cover the cost directly associated with connecting a parcel of land of a development to the public water and wastewater system. It is based on the cost of capital, the exact cost of capital. Each property pays for the capital cost associated with building the water and sewer infrastructure as needed to serve that property, and they are charged a connection fee, as the term describes, when they connect to the system, not before. At IRWD, the cost of future infrastructure is shared equally between the developer who pays for connection fees, that's how they pay for it, and the property owner who pays for it through property taxes. It's split 50-50. Costs generally correspond with the demand and intensity based on the use of the property. So for example, single-family residences will pay for their expected demands. It's all based on demands of the system, and a commercial building equally will pay based upon their expected demands of the system. So let's talk about the fact that our connection fees are cost-based, because I've mentioned that before. At IRWD, we set our connection fees to ensure the new development pays for its fair share. It's all about everybody paying for their fair share. And it's based on the fair share of capital needed to provide the infrastructure, both water and wastewater service, just as previous developments have paid for their fair share while not subsidizing the future developments. And that's very important. The goal is that one property is not subsidizing another share of the infrastructure needed to serve the community. Everyone pays for what their development property needs are. Again, everyone is paying for their fair share. We look at capital cost for both local and regional facilities needed to serve new developments and allocate cost accordingly based on the respective share. So example, for a local cost, those are based on the local infrastructure that are pertain particularly to that development. A regional cost would be a sewer treatment plant, a water treatment plant. Everyone pays for a proportional share of that, not just the local development. At a high level, here are some of the examples of infrastructure paid for by connection fees. Things such as water pipes and sewer lines, storage tanks, pumping stations, lift stations, wells, and as I said, regional cost like water and treatment sewer plants. So let's assume for a second that connection fees are capped or restricted in some way. Since we budget only to recover cost, no more, no less, again, it's based on cost, and we're not an investor-owned service, we're not an investor-owned company. We are not in it to make a profit. This would mean that our existing customers would have to make up for the uncovered cost in the new development, and that's not fair. So we recognize that we talk about buy-in. That's often used, and I've talked about the fact that every property pays for no more and no less than their fair share of infrastructure. So what is buy-in? So buy-in methodology allows agencies to plan for the infrastructure needed within the community and collect from the previously unplanned development cost attributable to the demands of a projected development when the development takes place, and that's very important. Without a buy-in, the new unplanned community does not pay for their respective share of the facilities. Buy-in methodology is universally accepted within the water and wastewater industries because it allows the best option for building the needed infrastructure of allocating the cost only when the parcels connect to the system. While buy-in is important, connection fees may increase over time because as regulatory compliance for water and wastewater increases, and we all know regulations costs continue to increase, so does the cost of infrastructure needed to ensure that we are meeting those needed requirements. At IRWD, the cost of existing developments are borne by those customers through property taxes, and the cost of the newly connecting properties are borne by those properties through connection fees. I would like to thank the committee members, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.